Wow, this was a dovish Powell. Jerome Powell literally just flipped. In this video, I'm going to give you a bear bull scale update from Kevin. I'm going to tell you what Jerome Powell said in reverse order, and I'm going to give you my opinion, which I haven't heard anybody else talk about yet, which is either a sign that nobody else is paying attention to it, or it's a sign that your boy Kevin is just a dumb idiot and is just totally wrong. In this video, I'll give you everything that's on my mind, and I'll let you make the decision. So, let's get started. Jackson Hole. Jerome Powell starts by saying, Kevin's got a flash sale today over at meetkevin.com in honor of Jackson Hole, and the prices go up tonight. Got any questions, email us at staff@meetkevin.com. Otherwise, check it out and make sure you get in before 11:59 p.m. We finally figured out how to make the computer automatically kill the price increase right at 11:59 p.m. So check it out at meetkevin.com. With that said, Jerome Powell truly did say, the task is not complete, and we do not seek a further welcoming or a further cooling in labor markets. So we do not seek or welcome a further cooling in labor markets. This is actually really important. This line, in my opinion, was critical because on one hand, I've been screaming on the channel that I think the Fed is going too slowly, that if they keep moving this slowly and gradually and methodically, they're going to cause an unemployment recession, and that is going to be different than the recession we expected at the beginning of 22, where at the beginning of 22, we expected a recession where people would have excess savings and they'd have their jobs, and it would sort of be like a shallow, okay, yeah, year over year growth is slower, and you'd have a recession. Really, what we would end up getting if we had a recession now would be a jobless recession where companies start laying off more because they're trying to increase margins. CapEx spending slows, then layoffs occur as hiring stalls, then you get consumer spending slow down, and then the data shows up in unemployment. Unfortunately, I've been concerned that if J. Powell waits for the data to show up in unemployment, it'd be too late and we would be knee-deep in a recession. So this line from Jerome Powell that already at this point we, quote, do not seek or welcome further cooling in labor markets is actually good. But there's a balance to this. Because on one hand, I'm like, oh, I literally wrote down, I may have even said it on the video. When he said that, I'm like, oh, that's good. This is, I think I just wrote it down. This is bullish. J. Powell is paying attention to the labor market the way he should. This is a good thing. But then I started to thinking to myself, wait a minute, how bad is it, bro? What do you know that you're not saying here? No, I understand that would be very, very jaded to assume that J. Powell's starting to go, oh God, we've gone way too far. But let's listen to what else Jerome Powell said and see if maybe there's another clue as to J. Powell saying, oh, we've gone too far. Let's see. Jerome Powell tells a story about how he and other economists and central bankers and analysts were on ship transitory and that it was a very crowded ship. And he basically makes the case that being on ship transitory was the right move. It just took longer than expected. The journey was longer. Okay, what is he trying to say with that analogy? Well, he's trying to tell you, hey, look, we expected inflation to come up and come back down. And then once it was gone, we're done. By him using this analogy, he's basically trying to say, we were right. It just took a little longer. Inflation went up. Now it's down. We're not worried about inflation anymore. Now we got to fix the labor market we just screwed up. That's my implication from this. Again, your opinion may be very different, and that's okay. That's the beauty about finances. We can have different opinions. So then he says, we will do everything we can to support the labor market. The time has come for policy to adjust, and there is ample room to respond to risks. Okay, this is really interesting because he's basically saying inflation's not a problem anymore. We're now serious about the labor market. I actually don't think the Fed is balanced anymore. Like in the last FOMC meeting, the Fed's like, yeah, we've gone from inflation as a priority and the labor market's okay. I think we've actually gone, in the last meeting we went to, okay, they're both balanced. I think now we've gone to, bro, inflation's over, which I agree with. Mind you, I completely agree inflation is over. There's not going to be a second wave. This is my opinion. Talk about that in many other videos. Supply chains have expanded so much that it's going to be very difficult, even with stimulative spending, for us to see a second wave of inflation. My opinion. Again, yours could be very different. Okay, so if inflation is dead the way Jay Powell is saying, and now he's basically more in favor of, oh man, we may have gone too far, we may start causing some real damage to the labor market here, and this is why he's coming across so dovishly, then we have to ask ourselves, okay, so how do we internalize this? Is this a good thing that he's being dovish? Yes, it is a good thing. Because if he came out today and said, we're going to go slow and gradual, we're not convinced inflation is dead, well, then we'll almost certainly be in a recession. So this speech is definitely more bullish than bearish. But now it kind of like the rapidness, is that a word? I don't know. The rapidness of him going from, we're not done yet with inflation to inflation's transitory and, oh my God, we need to save the labor market. That flip makes me go, man, I mean, this is good that now you're paying attention to the labor market, but now you got me a little concerned as to how concerned you are about the labor market, because I've already been freaking out about the labor market, and now you're freaking out. And so I'm like, are we already in a recession? I'll update the bear bull scale in just a moment, but these are, I don't know the answer here. I think really the data will help us, obviously. We got to be, where's the word? Where is it? It's somewhere over here. We got to be...
data dependent.
And we do have data sets coming out here soon. We've got JOLTS coming out on 9/4, job openings and labor turnover survey. The ADP private unemployment report will come out on 9/5. September 5th. And then we'll have non-farm payrolls on September 6th and my dad's birthday on September 10th. Okay, so let's keep listening to what he said. So in addition to this, he says, we've made a great deal of progress and my confidence on inflation has grown. The upside to inflation has diminished and the downside to the risk of employment have increased. So I actually wrote next to that, I'm like, how badly? Like, how badly have the risk to employment increased? Anyway, so labor market is unmistakably cooling, says Powell. The timing and pace of cuts will depend on the data. I wrote this is surprisingly bullish on the labor market. Unlikely the labor market will be a source of further inflationary pressure. We already knew that. He's already told us for a while that there's no wage price spiral and we're not really concerned about wage gains. In fact, some wage gains are consistent with falling inflation. So that's fine. He referenced 2023 as an example of that in the second half when inflation was plummeting and wages were actually rising. Then he says, sometimes it can be a good idea to look through inflation as transitory. And so he sort of goes back into history and says, it's kind of normal. The problem this time was that supply chains didn't recover as fast as we thought they would because of the COVID shutdowns. He does think we're on a sustainable path to 2%. And then he ended the meeting. And we're like, okay, that was like a 15-minute speech or maybe even slightly less. And we're like, we didn't really close the door to 50 basis points there. So what happened is the market has actually started pricing in a little bit more of a chance of 50 basis points. If I look right now, when we started before the meeting, we were at about 1.25 cuts priced in for September. Now we're at 1.32 priced in. So the market's pricing in a little bit more in terms of rate cuts. We're pricing in a full 5 rate cuts now for January. So he's kind of actually left the door wide open to 50 here, which again is good. In my opinion, this is what he should be doing. But then I also wonder how quickly he U-turned. Makes me just scratch my head and go, this is what you should be doing, but bro, is this worse than you're leading out here? What's going on back there? I feel like I'm getting a report from the engine room of the Titanic, and 20 minutes ago it was, we're fine, we got it all under control, and then 10 minutes ago it was, it's a little worse than we thought, but we got it. And then 2 minutes ago, it's like, yeah, man, we got some problems. I don't know, man. That's a little bit like I'm getting whipsawed here by the flip-flopping from the Fed. I mean, again, 2 meetings ago, inflation's still not at target. 1 meeting ago, it's the risks are balanced. Today, it's There ain't no more inflation risk, man. The jobs market can go into shit. Which, I mean, we already knew that. Okay, anyway. So then he says, you know, the direction of travel is clear. The meeting ends. Left the door open to 50 basis points. No talk about peak rates. They're not going to raise rates anymore. No talk about a soft landing. There's no question this is dovish. Now I'm just wondering, like, why is it so dovish? Nick T says the Powell pivot is complete. And so where am I on the bear bull scale? You know, I'm up a little. But this is not much. Not as much as you might think. I saw some of y'all guessing. You're like, oh, Kevin's going to be a 7.5. You know, where max bullishness with margin is 10. Some people are like, ah, nah, Kevin's going to be a 5 or a 6. I'm going from 2.9 to 3.3. Okay, so because A, this is what he should be doing. This is good. Yes, Powell. Yes, this is what you should be doing. But the rapidity of flip here just has me like minimizing my bullishness going, is it really that bad, bro? So we'll find out as we get more data. I'm just saying, I'm a little freaked out, okay? So I don't know. I guess the data will tell. I will tell you what I think. What I think will be a winner, no matter what. I'm just going to be transparent here, okay? What I think will be a winner no matter what. Ooh, damn. That option I placed and sent a trade alert on. Let's freaking go. Damn, baby. Woo! Just before I started doing this video, I had an option trade that I placed, and it's making some dollar hollers right now. So, hell yeah, let's go. Okay. Anyway, that's up like 50%. If you want all those trade alerts, make sure you use that flash sale coupon code. Let's go! But Nick T, you know, he says the Powell pivot is complete. You know, we've got a lot of people on CNBC and Doomberg that are like, oh, yeah, this is dovish. This is great. A dovish Powell. Wow, wow, wow. I'm like, y'all miss what he actually is like, did y'all miss the big flip-flop here? I don't know, man. Y'all freaking me out. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. So anyway, thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate and love y'all. Folks, holy crap, that option it doubled. My option just doubled. Holy sh! Let's go, boys! Woo! Anyway, you want to see those trade alerts, make sure to join me in Stocks and Psych over at meetkevin.com. Flash sale coupon code ends today. If you got questions, email us at staff@meetkevin.com, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Good luck. Oh, and I think I forgot to say what this is probably and very likely, no guarantees, bullish for. Yields going down. The fact that J. Powell is now flipping like this is a sign to me that yields are going to fall a lot faster than we expected, which is what I've been talking about for weeks. In fact, if you've seen the positioning that I've been exposing myself to for either soft landing or jobless recession, it's been, I mean, I've got two over 7-figure individually trades going on two big sectors. One of them has a lot to do with rates, and one of them is also similar to that, but I think does well in even a jobless recession. I know that sounds crazy, but anyway, we've been talking about those two. We've been paying attention. I've been saying I think rates are going to come down a lot faster than people think, and J. Powell's flip-flop here is reiterating exactly that. Now the question is just, dang, how bad is that for companies that are expecting growth? Because if he's worried about the labor recession, growth companies are going to get whacked. So be careful.
These things that you told us here, I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is not personalized advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show shall not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purposes of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services we may benefit from. I also personally operate an actively managed ETF. I may personally hold or otherwise hold long long or short positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuer other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Make sure if you're considering investing in HouseHack to always read the PPM at househack.com.